Hi everyone! Today I bring you, as I said in the previous video, I bring you a comparison between A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness and the film adaptation done and directed by Juan Antonio Bayona, the Spanish director of The Impossible. And these are my thoughts on it. I hope you like it. And of course, if you want to join to this family, you can click subscribe or give me a like or even comment a few things down below in the comment section about what you thought about the film. We are going to start now. To begin with, I should say that I love Juan Antonio's Bayona career. I know him because of The Impossible, and I've tried to see as much films of his that I can find, and I do believe he really knows the human emotions and feelings, and he knows how to play with them in a cinematic approach. In my opinion, I think that one of the best features or one of the best parts of this movie is the actor's work. I have to say that Louis McDougall, I think it's called, the kid that plays Connor O'Malley, does a really amazing job considering how young he is, and how difficult is the topic that he has to treat. Connor has to deal with a dying mother and the idea of losing her, and he has also a bullying problem at school. And I think the actor Louis plays him very authentically, very well. Like, he shows, for example, the mature kid that he is, that he can actually do breakfast and prepare everything at home, and then the fragility he shows once he goes out. But as well, you see that even if it's out of the house, when he's fragile, he's like literally earning or yearning for going out to find kind of a human normal relationship. That's why he loves going out, and you see him having kind of weight over his shoulder whenever he's at home. And I find, for example, that the relationship with Sigourney Weaver's character is really pretty, because you see this young new actor playing with a very renowned actress, and how the dynamic is very well fit, in the sense that Connor hates her grandma because he doesn't think she's the proper grandma. She's very serious, she's very um, straightforward, and not very, caring and lovable as a grandma is supposed to be. And you see him really upset and really uncomfortable with the idea of having her around. And you see how the grandmother, is really struggling through the situation that her own daughter is going through, because she knows she's about to die, but she doesn't know how to convince her daughter to move to the city with her because they live in a little town, or how to get to connect with Connor because they don't get along, and they ultimately they will have to live together, as the father of Connor lives in America, and he cannot take care of him. So it's a little bit of a dynamic of, we don't get along but we really need to. And for me, for example, it's very special, the scene at the grandmother's house, at the living room, where the monster who appears to tell Connor 3 stories and help him to get through all this hard experience. He tells him the second story about a clergyman, a priest, and I don't know how to say it, a practitioner. I'm not sure how to say it. And there's a part in which the monster actually destroys the house of the priest. And this is like in a fairy tale kind of a story, but when they go out or exit that fairy tale story, the story finishes. You see how Connor, that has been participating in the destruction of this imaginary house, has already also destroyed the whole, uh, the completely the living room of her grandmother, his grandmother. Sorry. So I think when she enters into this room and she sees all her belongings destroyed, except from one kind of uh, cupboard, it's like she is a little bit terrified, not only for what she sees, but the situation that she had to deal with at the hospital with her own daughter, and now she reaches her safe place, which is her house, and she discovers that Connor has destroyed the whole room, and it's like she doesn't know how to deal with the pain, how to deal with the anger, and as Connor is crying very very hard and apologizing for this that he didn't know he was causing. It's very human response. One is crying and the other one is like destroying the only thing that is standing, which is a drawer, and I find it really human. I really like it. As for the monster, I feel like Liam Neeson is doing a great job, not only voicing the monster with this kind of deep, very grounded, very cave kind of atmospheric, deep voice, but giving it life, moving with a special suit and sensors and stuff. I really like it, and I think it's very important that they use also like robotic parts of them, real robotic parts that are actually part of the monster. And I will try to find some images and show it to you, but you can see this kind of dark brown kind of branches, made of branches arm, and you see how it moves, and also there's a feet like that, or the head made completely out of wood, or simulating being completely out of wood, because the monster is actually a tree. And I feel like having this kind of realistic elements in the story helps, in this case, the child to interact or get into the character and get into the dynamic of uh, talking to a virtual thing, but having something physical to hold on to. I think it's very important. And also, I love Felicity Jones' work. I know Felicity Jones because of the BBC Northanger Abbey adaptation. I haven't watched it myself, but I would love to watch it. And I think in this character, the mother of Connor, the mother is kind of a fragile, human, sweet person, and you see how she's decaying, how she's dying. Every single footage she's getting worse, and you see physically how she is getting worse, but how she tries to deal with normal ordinary life for the sake of her own son, and I think for her own sake as well, because she wants to hold on to whatever she can to keep fighting and keep being alive. And I believe that the changes that they have done regarding some extra things in the book about how they connect through artistic approach, Connor and her love painting, and so it's not like in the book you have this relationship already developed and you know they love each other, they complement each other, but you don't know any kind of extra, like, why, apart from being mother and son, you don't see common interest uh, there. So I think they use that extra sense about painting in a way of saying like this is the bond. I want to point out a special element that I adore, which is the storytelling. The monster arrives at Connor's house to tell him three stories. In return, Connor will tell him the nightmare that he's having. In the book you have illustrations, but here they will take in that illustration that are black and white and using watercolor sort of approach with a very colorful impact, because although you still have black and white, they are kind of shots of red or blue or green that contrast very well with the real life cloudy environment that Connor lives in, and I really love that. However, there are a couple of things I didn't like very much in this story. We know either the book or the film, we know that Connor's being bullied at school, and in the book that goes a little bit deeper because he's also socially bullied. If you don't know what is social bullying, it's basically when a kid is isolated from the rest of the class, nobody talks to him, nobody interacts with him at all. So in the book, you know that Connor has a friend called Lily. They know each other since they were basically babies. And the day the mother of Lily arrives with Lily at the house, and Connor's mom is already ill, so um, they ask. Well, Connor explains to her friend what is going on. He has not to tell anyone, and she tells it. So you see, that's why Connor doesn't like being with Lily anymore. And Lily in the film appears, but a very secondary character. I don't remember her having any line, although in the credits, in the final credits, she is listed as a character. The problem with that is that I feel like they sum up Connor's story to being bullied physically and socially from the very beginning as a way of basically out of nowhere. So I believe in the book it was better explain why this happened and gives Lily and Connor's like a very more complicated background in the book that way. Although I understand that maybe it was a very secondary detail that it wasn't needed in the end. The other element that I had more trouble with is that in the book when the mother dies, you don't know who is the monster. The monster disappeared. Once the monster has finished telling the stories and liberating and freeing Connor from his fears and his nightmare, and the idea of losing her mother is totally speak out, the monster disappears, and that's it. It has an extra explanation. You have throughout the whole film uh, photographs of the mother of Connor being a child with his own father that doesn't appear at all, and is Liam Neeson actually. It is told that the grandfather of Connor died a really long time ago, but the mother and him get along really well. At the end, when Connor finally confessed to her mother that he doesn't want her to go away, but he really needs to let her go to liberate himself and be able to cry and let the pain go, or directly looking directly not through her but to her, and the mother is actually smiling at the monster like it is known. So in the end, when Connor uh, moves to her grandmother's house and she has a new, a brand new room for him, she gives him this notebook where the Connor's mom used to draw with watercolors. So you see that all these little stories were painted and colored by Connor's mom, and you see the monster and a little figure of a child being carried here at his shoulder. So you connect the three stories and the background about the grandfather in the idea of the grandfather used to tell her stories, and the grandfather is the incarnation of or the representation of the monster. So although that's very new because you are giving the monster a personality and a human previous form, I think it's very important because the monster, either in the book or in the film, acts like a psychologist for the child to go through the pain and through the loss. But you are giving, in this case, you are giving him in the film a very, very important background. And even though in both cases, in the film and in the book, they got this dynamic of teaching each other and learning from each other and supporting each other, the monster and him, you're giving him a background, a connection to the real world, a connection to Connor's reality and Connor's family. So it's a way of closing the circle in a better way than the book did. However, I found it quite strange at the beginning. I understand why this was done, but I found it strange in the sense that I thought the open idea of the monster was better. Have you seen the movie? Do you want to comment something I missed? Do you want to tell me which was your favorite bit, or what were you expecting when you got the chance to see it? Please let me know what you thought about the movie down below. Or the book. You can also tell me what you thought about the book. As always, I leave you down below the social media, my Amazon wishlist, and the ways you can contact me. Of course, you can give me a thumbs up or subscribe if you want. I really like to share these moments with you. Bye!